How disappointing was that from Russia, Matty? Because you and I were talking before the match. We thought Russia are going to beat Uruguay by a fair margin, but complete turn of fortunes.
I think we came up with that analysis previously was simply because they wouldn't take their foot off the gas. And as we've just mentioned, we think that's probably why maybe the result came this way tonight, but also maybe one or two changes from Uruguay, as we'll talk about shortly, contributed to that. And
Eugeneson, do you think that this plays a factor when you've already qualified, you went into the tournament with people writing you off, but you've raised yourself in 2 matches, sealed it? Do you think that after that the players can be a bit deflated?
Yeah, I felt they took a step off the pedal and relaxed a bit, knowing that they've already qualified for round of 16. Because the round of 16 is a completely different game. A knockout game is a very different game compared to a league game. So I think whoever they face, they're going to be facing a tough opponent. So they've just taken a step off the pedal, and come what may, they see it against them in round 16.
Yes, but what about the fans who are there, who've packed this arena, because they came in to see a Russian win, especially since that momentum from that first 5-0 thrashing carried on to the second match as well. A few changes you can expect, Golovin being taken off because he's had a lot to do, but not the performance. I think the performance is the problem here. They look largely listless.
Yeah, but I would say so the round of 16, I think most of the players would have wanted to play in that game, knowing that if they had given more, they might get injured. Or, you know, like all the players would consider that, do this, or a bit more relaxed, thinking of what is ahead, rather than miss the round of 16, which is more important.
And a great start from Luis Suarez. I mean, and I was really looking at that goal and wondering where was the wall. Then you saw the picture that Cavani had actually dragged 2 defenders with him, which had opened up a hole right in front for Suarez to just go straight. And I thought from that area, it could be difficult to get the ball over and get it to dip as well. But he is Luis Suarez and simple class.
Yeah, they're also, you know, these players, we forget that how good they are technically to execute things. But of course, in the mind, you know, you know yourself, Eugene, when you play, you know, Eugene is fantastic off a dead ball. You know, and at talking about this level, just that smartness, as you said, for Cavani to pull people away just opens a gap, you know. And
they had a bit of a chat just before that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really basic, but, you know, ultimately that's been the difference in him going 1-0 up in a game that maybe, certainly as we expected, as we've just said, you know, maybe wouldn't have gone their way, and that was the start of them moving forward.
And this is the Suarez which people are scared of. This is the Suarez we saw today who tormented that Russian defence, kept running at them, kept drawing fouls, and especially when you give him the ball in those areas, he is deadly. And with Cavani joining the party, what else would Uruguay want heading into the next round?
Yeah, I felt the change of formation had really helped them. Put more men in midfield, more men in the final third of the game, or pitch, I'll say, sorry. So it given him more liberty to move. And Cavani the same, they are vice versa. One goes up, one comes down, so it's given them more freedom.
Okay, since you are talking about it, explain this to us. Uruguay, for all their flair, for all of Suarez and Cavani, had 1-0 results in the last 2 games. You're wondering what's going on, where are they? They changed it. They went to a 3-5-2 to get these 2 into the game. How did it work for them?
Well, playing a 4-4-2, we've shown this many times now on previous shows. Now they've changed the 3 in the middle. What I believe is a Bentancur on this side, he had protection now. He's got protection in Torreira. They didn't have that in the last game. Even Bentancur, you know, last game he didn't really get forward. He almost scored this evening. He went through, got blocked. So that's the start of it, is that the 2 midfield players just playing in front of Torreira have a little bit more licence to get forward and support the front men. When that happens, Suarez and Cavani, naturally they can move more. They can move into channels. You know, you never know which way they're going to move. They can play off each other. Suarez, we know, is a menace. They can play on the shoulder. But I believe that the reason why they're able to do that even more is because of this protection and the numbers that they have in the middle of the park behind them to start with. Secondly, obviously, both wide men that you can see here. Excuse me. I'll just highlight them there. Both wide men, you know, they could play a little bit more further forward. You also saw Martin Gutierrez getting forward. He was whipping into crosses also. So, you know, it just allowed them to be more fluid.
Okay, they've crashed the host party, but is this a reality check, Eugeneson, for Russia? Do you think that, what do you have up next? You either have Spain or Portugal, perhaps. They would want Iran to somehow come through, but do you think this is a reality check for them?
Yeah, it is a reality check for them. They're the lowest ranked team in the World Cup, and they'll be coming up against teams that are at least 10th and below in the ranking. So it's going to be very tough for them in the coming games.
Okay, they've had their party. They've got 2 wins. They've got a nation cheering for them. But Russia hammered 3-0 by Uruguay.